Welcome everybody, Cash Shabir here. Thank you so much for your likes and shares and comments of support. I'm doing my best to try and expose the fraud at Lloyds Bank Bristol, and thankfully we were getting a lot of really good feedback from all the other victims. Things are starting to piece together now and there's a lot of commonality. A lot of the victims in Bristol have been dealt with by 3 or 4 of the same people. I can't release the identity of everybody because, as you guys know, I've got a live police inquiry going on at the moment, but I can release the identity of one person who has been involved right the way through across many of the cases. So let me introduce you to Mr. Jonathan Miles. As you can see, this is a screenshot from their own website, and he is a partner and he's the head of receiverships for All the King. This person, Mr. Miles, was embedded inside Lloyds Bank for a period of 4 years where he was involved in managing a lot of the customer cases that were going through that office. It will not come as a surprise to you guys that most of the customers that went through that Bristol office ended up in receivership, and almost all of them ended up in receivership that he was involved in with his own firm at All the King. Lloyds facilitated his alias of being a Lloyds Bank manager, a Lloyds Bank employee with a Lloyds Bank email address. Prior to any involvement with that department in Bristol, Mr. Miles was communicating with many of the customers before he'd even met them on a Lloyds Bank email address and holding himself out to be a Lloyds Bank manager. Victims then, or customers, were declaring their businesses, discussing their businesses. Mr. Miles was then organising new valuations of those businesses from his own firm by his own firm. And in my case, the same party or the same person that was involved in the valuations ended up becoming the receiver. So the fraud is very clear. There was an embeddedness of a third-party firm, All the King, who had a vested interest in securing lucrative receivership appointments from the Bristol office. There are many victims who've got the same 3 or 4 henchmen. They were all supported by the same lawyers, by the same advisors, and by the same bank manager. So imagine, by way of a really simple example, imagine you parked your car in a car park and then you noticed there was a tyre workshop there which was offering free tyre checks. You went there and you found all your 4 tyres were punctured and you thought, well, that's a bit bizarre. And then it later transpired that they sent out an employee 2 hours later to sprinkle that car park with nails. You'd think it's a big stitch up, and those guys should be done for fraud. That's exactly what took place in Bristol. This setup was done prior to the customers turning up, prior to the customers being moved to that office. All of this has been outlawed in terms of Reading, where a similar relationship happened where the bank was referring customers to a third-party firm called Quayside Corporate Services. They abused businesses and now they're serving jail time for 47 years and spent money on luxury holiday homes and all sorts of illegal activities abroad. These guys should suffer a similar fate. We're asking the police to investigate their banks. We're asking the police to investigate their addresses. We're asking the police to do a full audit trail on everything that happened at that Bristol office. So please continue to like, share, support and spread the word, because this fraud is huge and it could dwarf the fraud that took place in Reading. Please, 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 if you have a case like this, come forward, share your evidence, because I think we can support a lot of you guys. Thank you.